Come sit closer, my dear. Not too close. My hearing is still good, but my knees might misinterpret the situation and lock up out of jealousy. There we go. Comfortable? Good. You know, people think when you reach 80, you stop noticing things, that you become some kind of decorative furniture, useful only for holding memories and occasionally losing the TV remote. But let me tell you something very clearly, and I say this with the confidence of a man who's been married, wronged, forgiven, wronged again, and still alive to tell it. Resentment doesn't arrive suddenly. It ages quietly, just like us. You asked me once, very softly, as if afraid the question might crack something fragile inside you. Paul, why do so many women seem angry at their husbands as they get older? Oh, sweetheart, that question has mileage. That question has arthritis. So today, I'm going to tell you what I've seen, what I lived, and what I painfully learned, wrapped in humor, honesty, and a few bruises from life. These are 7 reasons women resent their husbands as they age, and how, if a man is brave enough, it can be fixed. Pull up a chair. This story has chapters. Reason 1. He stopped listening and thought silence meant peace. Let me start with a confession. For the first 30 years of my marriage, I believed silence was a gift. If Margaret wasn't yelling, I thought I was winning. If she sighed instead of shouting, I considered that progress. If she went quiet, I assumed I survived another storm. Turns out, that wasn't peace. That was emotional frostbite. Women don't stop talking because they have nothing to say. They stop talking because they've said it too many times to a wall that learned how to nod without hearing. And resentment? Oh, resentment loves quiet men. It grows there. I remember one night, clear as yesterday. Margaret was explaining something about feeling invisible. I was watching television, not even watching, existing near it. She paused mid-sentence and said, "You're not even here, are you?" I said the most dangerous sentence a husband can say. "I'm listening." No, I wasn't. I was waiting for my turn to stop the conversation. How to fix it? Listen like the conversation is the last one you'll ever have with her, because one day it will be. And trust me, you don't want your final memory to be nodding at a wall while love quietly packed its bags. Reason 2, he confused providing with loving. Ah, yes, the old classic. I worked hard for this family. So did she. She just didn't get weekends off or a retirement party. Men my generation were taught that love meant bills paid, food on the table, and a roof that didn't leak unless it rained sideways. Emotional presence? That wasn't on the job description. Margaret once said to me, years after the resentment had already moved in, "I didn't need more money, Paul. I needed you to notice me sitting alone at the kitchen table." That sentence hit harder than my first cholesterol report. How to fix it? Provide with your heart, not just your wallet. Sit down, ask questions, stay curious. A woman doesn't want a provider who disappears after payday. She wants a partner who shows up even when there's nothing to fix. Reason 4, he took her youth for granted. Oh, this one hurts. Women give their youth quietly. They don't announce it. They don't invoice it. They just spend it. They give it to children, to routines, to responsibilities, to men who say, "You're beautiful," less and less, because they assume it's understood. It isn't. One day, Margaret stood in front of the mirror and said, "I don't recognize myself anymore." I laughed. I thought she was joking. She wasn't. How to fix it? Compliment her like you're still trying to win her. because in truth, you always are. A woman resents the man who enjoyed her youth but refuses to honor her aging. Reason 4, he never learned the language of appreciation. You know what kills love faster than betrayal? Being taken for granted. Not thanked, not noticed, not acknowledged. Margaret ran a household like a 5-star hotel with no staff and no tips, and I lived there like a permanent guest who complained about the towels, and I didn't even realize it. Resentment builds when effort becomes invisible. How to fix it? Say thank you out loud, often, even now, especially now. Gratitude is the cheapest marriage repair tool, and men use it least. Now, listen, before I continue, let me ask you something. If even one of these reasons made you nod quietly, if one line felt a little too familiar, take a second to like this video, leave a comment. Your story matters more than you think, and subscribe because these conversations don't end here. All right, deep breath, stretch the knees. Let's keep going because the next reasons, they sting, but they heal. Reason 5, he aged but refused to grow. Aging is automatic, growing up, optional. Some men age into bitterness, entitlement, or laziness. They expect patience without effort, respect without kindness, love without growth. Women notice this, and resentment grows when a woman evolves emotionally while her partner stays frozen in old habits and older excuses. How to fix it? Grow with her, learn, adapt, stay humble. Nothing is more attractive at any age than a man still willing to change. Reason 6, he never apologized properly. I'm sorry you feel that way. Ah, yes, the apology that sets marriages on fire. A real apology doesn't defend itself. It doesn't explain. It doesn't blame. It owns. Margaret waited years for apologies that never came. I thought time would smooth things out. Time doesn't heal what pride keeps reopening. How to fix it? Say, I'm sorry, like you mean it, without conditions. A sincere apology can soften resentment faster than decades of silence. Reason 7, he forgot that love is an action. Love isn't a memory, it's a behavior. It's showing up, checking in, reaching out, especially when it's uncomfortable. Resentment grows when love becomes assumed instead of practiced. How to fix it? Love her daily, intentionally, imperfectly, because love that isn't maintained expires. Ah, you stayed. Good. That tells me something about you already. Curiosity mixed with courage. Or maybe you just forgot where you put the remote. Either way, I'm glad you're still here with me. Now let me warn you, this part gets quieter. Not sad exactly, but honest in the way only late evenings and old men can afford to be. When resentment settles into a marriage, it doesn't slam the door, it pulls up a chair. And by the time you notice it, it's already memorized the floor plan. The day I finally understood her resentment. There was a moment, clear, sharp, unforgettable. Margaret was sick, not dramatic sick, not hospital sick, the dangerous kind, tired sick, the kind that comes from carrying too much for too long. I was standing in the kitchen, complaining, yes, complaining, that she hadn't reminded me about an appointment. She looked at me the way you look at a stranger who's just insulted you, and she said softly, "Paul, I've been reminding you for 40 years. I'm tired." That sentence aged me 10 years in one breath. That's when it hit me. Her resentment wasn't anger. It was exhaustion mixed with grief. grief for the partnership she thought she had. How resentment actually breaks a marriage? People think marriages end because of big explosions. No, they end because of small neglects repeated faithfully, missed moments, unheard needs, unshared emotional labor. Women don't wake up one day resenting their husbands. They arrive there step by step while still cooking dinner. The hardest truth I ever learned. Let me tell you something most men my age whisper but rarely admit out loud. Love doesn't fail because people stop loving. It fails because people stop trying while still expecting to be loved. Resentment is love that had nowhere safe to go. What finally softened her heart and mine? I didn't fix everything. Let's be clear, I'm 80, not magical. But I changed 3 things that mattered more than all my excuses combined. 1, I stopped defending and started hearing. No explanations, no, but I meant well, just listening. And let me tell you, listening hurts at first because you hear all the places you were absent, but it also heals. 2, I took responsibility without drama. No self-pity, no guilt performances, just ownership. I failed you here. I didn't show up. I can do better. Those sentences, they reopened doors resentment slammed shut. 3, I loved her the way she needed, not the way I preferred. This one nearly killed my ego. Turns out, love isn't about how you express it, it's about how she receives it. Once I learned that, things shifted, slowly, quietly, but genuinely. Let me tell you a secret about older women. Older women don't want perfection, they want presence. They don't want grand gestures, they want consistency. They don't want promises, they want effort that doesn't expire. And when they resent, it's because they once cared deeply. Indifference is the real ending, not resentment. A little humor, because we need it. You know what I learned too late? Flowers aren't romantic at 80. Doing the dishes without being asked is. Trust me, I tested the theory. If you're listening to this and feeling something, maybe you're a woman nodding quietly, thinking, yes, that's exactly it. Or maybe you're a man swallowing hard, realizing, I might still have time. Either way, this conversation matters. So let me gently say this again. Like this video if it touched something real. Comment. Your story may help someone else feel less alone. Subscribe, because senior wisdom isn't about age, it's about truth. My final words to you, my friend. Resentment is not the enemy, it's the messenger. It says, I wanted more. I tried longer than you noticed. I needed you. If you're still breathing, if you're still willing, if you're still listening, then it's not too late. I wish I had known that sooner, but if my story helps you soften even one moment sooner than I did, then these old words were worth speaking. Now, come on, help an old man up from this chair. My knees filed a complaint halfway through this story. And thank you for listening.